Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, new Renfrow trade rumors. Why are they starting to heat up? I'm going to tell you. Hunter Renfrow trade reasoning. I got 5 reasons why I could see Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler potentially moving on from number 13. And then, if we're talking about number 13 getting traded, what about the top 5 Hunter Renfrow trade destinations? That's all coming up here on today's show. But the multi-million-dollar question, the $11.3 million question, sponsored by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com, promo code chat. Do you want the Raiders to trade away Hunter Renfrow? Type T for trade, type K for keep. I know everybody out in the nation loves and respects the hell out of Hunter. It's hard not to. But if you could save $11.3 million and then you can move that money to potentially some defensive players, would you do it? Type T for trade or type K for keep. So why are we talking about Renfrow? Well, for one, we have known for a long time that Hunter has been a potential Raiders trade candidate, and if the Raiders decide to move on from him, they can save $11.3 million. Also, post-June 1st has been a large topic of discussion around the NFL here on the Raiders Report as well, and technically, as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time today, post-June 1st has officially begun. Then, I wake up this morning, I'm surfing through social media. I'm looking at a few different things, and what do I stumble across? I stumble across Raider Image Store in Las Vegas has put Hunter Renfrow jerseys 25% off. If you don't believe me, shout out to my guy Samoan Raider, who posted it on his Instagram story. Renfrow jerseys, 25% off. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, Mitch, nobody at Raider Image does this on purpose. There's no reasoning behind it. You are 100% reaching for this, which I'm going to simply say, I respectfully disagree. I follow this team close as just about anybody. But, and I see right now in the comments, Long Raider says, yeah, he's gone. Why? Because if you followed this team this offseason, when the Raider Image Store has done that, a lot of times it's been for good reason. So this picture right here, Darren Waller, 50% off Darren Waller jerseys. This photo was taken on February 19th. February 19th, the day before my birthday, if anybody wants to send me a birthday gift for next year. But February 19th, and then what happens? March 15th, Darren Waller is traded. So you've already seen one time this offseason that this has happened. Now, I've seen on social media, people are like, well, they did it with Josh Jacobs jerseys. That's because Josh Jacobs is changing his number from 28 to 8. So if anybody throws out that reasoning, you're not paying attention enough. You definitely need to subscribe to the Raiders Report. So the Raiders traded Waller on March 15th, 2023. Well, who else remembers when they did the exact same thing to Derek Carr? When the Raiders dropped all of DC's jerseys to 50% off, guess what? They still had him on the roster. There were rumors around him being released. There were rumors around him being traded. Last time I checked, Derek Carr is not on this team, despite some of y'all still probably wanting this guy here. But hey, we got Aiden O'Connell now, right? So we always say this, and Chug's always laughed, and he made a joke. He said, hopefully in like 5 to 10 years from now, the Raiders Report is popular enough. And when I'm like, where there is smoke, y'all just scream, there is fire. Fire starts erupting from the outsides of the Raiders Report live studio audience. But it's the truth. When the Raider Image Stores put jerseys on sale, that has meant something. And it'll continue to mean something to at least me. But the bottom line when I do this show is if I find a story, if I find something that at least piques my interest, and for a lot of Raider fans that are watching this show in the middle of the summer on June 2nd, that means you're a diehard fan too. So when something like this happens, I don't know about you, I'm like, I want more information. I want more rumors. So where there is smoke, there is fire, and it continues to heat up around Hunter Renfrow potentially getting traded. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to the Raiders Report, take a second. Make sure you do so. We have over 137,000 subs here. And if you've been following the show in the month of June, you'll know that Chat Sports is doing a subs battle this month. And this month alone, Cowboys Report's in first place. The Niners Report is in second place. The Raiders Report is in third. That just doesn't sit well with me. I want to pass the Niners. I want to pass the Cowboys. So if you watch this show all the time and you've been wondering and waiting for a time to subscribe, now is your time to do it. And throughout the entire month of June, if you are a new-time subscriber, I'm going to give shout-outs to new subscribers every single show. So shout out to Tiberius, The Ugly Dojo, Demetrius Gates, Bobby Dean 2, Hobby Loon. And if you don't know, we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. And we go live every single Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific for happy hour. Let's keep on talking about Hunter Renfrow here and why a trade is really starting also to heat up. We know that there's been Renfrow trade rumors, and I mean, this has been from sources like Adam Schefter, Jeremy Fowler, Ian Rappaport, multiple credible sources out there. And the reason why post-June 1st was an important date is because if the Raiders would have traded Renfrow before June 1st, you would have saved $5.8 million. However, the Silver and Black, they would have had to eat $7.3, which, you could still save $5.8 is what it is. But now, officially, the Raiders can save $11.3 million. You're still going to eat $1.8, which, Renfrow's a hell of a player. Let's not get it twisted, but he's probably the fourth option on your offense. And if you could use that $11.3 million, you invest that into 2, potentially 3 players on the defensive side of the football. We all love Renfrow, but I do think there's a lot of Raider fans out there to be like, yeah, all right, I'm okay with that. So if the Raiders were going to trade Hunter, it was going to be after June 1st. This has been the Raiders' plan all along. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. But this is really when the balls or wheels are going to get rolling here on the Renfrow trade. So June 2nd at 4 p.m. is technically when June 1st begins. It is a little bit later in the day because, well, we're live here on the Raiders Report, so some of y'all have been watching us live, and for that, I appreciate you. So coming up next here on the Raiders Report, I have 5 reasons why the Silver and Black will, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it here, why they will move on from Hunter Renfrow. Before I give you those 5 reasons, though, huge shout out to today's sponsor, Bird Dogs. And if you haven't already gotten the best shorts on the planet, go to birddogs.com. Make sure you use promo code chat. We're going to put that link for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. It's the summer. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to elevate your wardrobe with shorts or pants from Bird Dogs. So, you know what they say. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. But what if you're not sure what the day will bring? That's where Bird Dogs comes in. As a viewer of the Raiders Report, you know that I value versatility in all aspects of life. And Bird Dog shorts and pants are the perfect example of that. With summer weather upon us, I've been wearing my Bird Dogs at the beach, to work, on dates with Alex, and just hanging out with the boys. With Bird Dogs, you'll never have to worry about changing your outfit midday again. Plus, their stretchy fabric makes them more comfortable than any other shorts or pants out there. Ready to try them on for yourself? Click the link in the description below or go to birddogs.com and enter promo code chat to also get a free Yeti-style tumbler with your first purchase. So Bird Dogs, these shorts, I've been actually wearing these for quite some time already, and I've also been wearing their pants way before they were sponsored here on the Raiders Report because, I'll be honest, I got a big butt. Cannot lie. I also got some big legs, so finding shorts and pants that fit me the right way, it's tough. It's really difficult when all my twigs and berries are just cemented against me. You ever have that? You're like, man, this ain't comfortable at all. The fact that they're versatile, the fact that they fit me well means I'm going to wear them. And they break down new shorts all the time. So this is what the shorts look like. Look at this. Ready? That is some legit stretch right there. And the underlining, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's the truth. Also, these are green. When I wear them, I don't wear underwear. I'll tell you that right now. They are that comfortable, and the fabric on these things, you don't need to wear underwear. So you can wear these to the gym. You can wear them to the pool. You can wear them if you're a golfer on your date night. If it's date night, you should definitely not wear underwear. Go to birddogs.com. Make sure you use promo code chat again. Huge shout out for them for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Let's keep the show rolling here with Hunter Renfrow and my 5 reasons why I believe Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler end up moving on from number 13, which it stinks because usually when you trade away a player, it's because either A, he's not good or he's doing some shenanigans. Renfrow isn't that dude. Now, the only thing I wouldn't trust Renfrow with is probably getting me an Uber, but besides that, I would trust him, especially to pick up a first down. The first reason why you're going to end up moving on from him, it's the money aspect of it. If you can save $11.3 million for a wide receiver, you're more than likely going to do it, considering the fact that Davante Adams is going to get more looks than him. Jacoby Myers is going to get more looks than him. And then just from an overall offensive standpoint, Josh Jacobs is going to get more looks. So if your fourth option on your team is making $13 million, but you can move on from him, you got to be able to consider that option, right? It's not just about making your offense better. Sorry, Josh McDaniels. You got to make the defense better. And the Raiders still have plenty of needs on the defensive side of the football with only $3.4 million in cap space, 28th in the NFL. If the Raiders moved on from Renfrow, I'd be upset. But I think they would really win over the nation if you use that money. You allocated that to the defensive side of the football. Who knows? Get somebody on the defensive line, get a linebacker, get somebody in the secondary with that 11.3, and then I think a lot of Raider fans would be happy about it. Let's go to the next reason here, and this one I actually can't even believe I'm saying. He proved to be a bad fit with McDaniels, and I get it. It was last year, and this is a brand new year, and anything can happen, but if you would have told me what offensive coordinator probably would have been the best fit for Hunter Renfrow back in 2021, probably would have said Josh McDaniels with all the success that he's had with, I'm just going to say it, slot white receivers, right? And some that probably even look like me. Julian Edelman. You had a Wes Welker. Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola right now is even a coach for the Raiders. Maybe they brought in Amendola to work with Hunter Renfrow. I don't have the answer to that, but I know this. From a career standpoint, in 2019, 2020, 2021, the year that he was by far the worst that he's ever been was when he was with Josh McDaniels. And it's not only just looking at the numbers standpoint. If you actually watch the games last season, you would agree they didn't use him in clutch situations. They never looked at him what I felt like in third down. And moments in years past where you're like, this is a Hunter Renfrow. Like, it's third down. It's, 4th and 3. You're in the red zone. There are certain opportunities where, like, the Raiders should look for Renfrow. And it just wasn't there. Hell, the final play of the season, really, like where Renfrow and Davante Adams run into each other. It just never seemed like Renfrow got the McDaniels offense. And for that, you have to consider, and maybe McDaniels considers that as well. Let's go to another reason here why I do believe the Raiders are going to end up moving on from Renfrow. They have already shown you that they drafted and signed his replacements. And you can look at it first with the bigger signing that they made in free agency in Jacoby Myers. I'll tell you this right now. For the value that they got in Myers, 3 years, $33 million, it's a hell of a deal for a wide receiver like Myers. And some people, they look at him at 6'2", 200, and like, well, Mitch, he's the wide receiver too. How does that take away from Renfrow? Jacoby Myers is at his best in the slot. That's just a cold, hard fact. He is at his best in the slot. Are they going to put him on the outside? Sure. Davante Adams plays in the slot sometimes. They're going to move their players all over the football field, but they allocated a lot of money into finding a big slot receiver in Myers. Then they went out and they got DeAndre Carter, who also does his living in the slot. But Renfrow in years past has made some good strides at being a punt returner. Last year was probably his worst year from a special team standpoint, and special teams means a lot to Ziegler, and it really means a lot to McDaniels, and it means a lot to this Raiders coaching regime. DeAndre Carter is a better special teams player currently in his career than Renfrow. And honestly, I don't want Renfrow to even play special teams because of all the concussions that he's had. And then on top of that, the Raiders in round 3 at pick 100, the pick that they used when they traded away Darren Waller. Like, this coaching staff's not dumb. They know that people, fans, the media are going to look at that pick, 100 and Waller, and they're going to analyze the shit out of it. So when you think of Trey Tucker's going to get work. That might be special teams. That might be in the slot. But they made the pick already because I think deep down they know that they are moving on from Hunter Renfrow. Then, this is a really big one, okay? June 1st OTA practice. I said it before on the Raiders Report show that if Renfrow is going to practice, I have a feeling the first day that he practices is on June 1st at OTA practice. Why? Because of the post-June 1st. If I'm Hunter Renfrow, I'm not practicing in May. I'm not doing anything else because I don't want to risk injury, because I don't want to get hurt, and then I have no trade value to a new team. Plus, if the Raiders want to move on from him, they can. They can cut him, and they can still save the money. So if I'm Hunter Renfrow, what's the one day that I'm no doubt I'm going to show up to practice? What's the one day that I'm going to try to show other NFL teams that I'm 100% healthy? It's June 1st. Guess what he did? The first time he showed up to the practice field was June freaking 1st. I don't blame Renfrow, because he's just trying to get his money, and he's trying to do the smart thing. But as soon as that happened, I sat there and I was like, all right, Renfrow, I see you. I see you. And then the final reason, this might be one of the most important ones, teams are interested in them. We could talk about players like Amik Robertson getting traded, Malcolm Kuntz getting traded, and those guys are okay players, but I think a lot of NFL teams look at those dudes and they're like, well, if the Raiders don't really want them, we don't really have to trade for him. We could probably just wait for the Raiders to cut him, and then we can go out and sign him. With Renfrow, there's going to be multiple teams that are interested. There's already been multiple reports out there that multiple NFL teams are interested in number 13. So my question to you is this. If I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, hey, multiple teams are interested in Renfrow, if you had to guess right now, I want you to look into your crystal balls, which are, tucked away very nicely in a set of bird dog shorts. Where will Hunter Renfrow be playing in 2023? What's your best guess? Chugs and I have given our answers before on some other shows, and we're going to give you some Renfrow trade destinations. That's going to be coming up here on the Raiders Report. But I want to know from every single one of y'all, crazy people in the chat. Mad Vet says New Orleans Saints, and that seems to be a very common answer. Robert Jansen, watching live as well, says Titans. Let me know where you think Renfrow's going to be playing. Renfrow trade destinations is coming up here on the Raiders Report. Before I show you my top 5 destinations for number 13, Hot Wings Eating Contest. Me up against Jermaine Illuminor in Las Vegas at Barcode Burgers, 10 minutes away from the Strip. And it's going to be from noon to 3 p.m. Jeremy Chubbs is going to be there. Multiple NFL players are going to be there. Multiple Raiders players are going to be there. It's all for charity. I hope you show up. It's going to be a hell of a time. If you want to see me take down a man twice my size, maybe even 3 times. I'm just kidding, Jermaine. Giggity. Show up. It's going to be a hell of a time. Autographs, pictures, all that kind of good stuff. So let's get in now to our Hunter Renfrow trade destinations. The first destination is the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr is there. That's a big-time reason. They don't have Jarvis Landry anymore. John Gruden's been working with them this offseason. I do think that this one makes quite a bit of sense. The Tennessee Titans are in desperate need, and I mean desperate need, for a slot wide receiver. They're going to work with Ryan Tannehill. If you're also trying to groom Will Levis, you need a safety blanket, and I do think Renfrow could be a good option. The Minnesota says, does that mean? Did I do that? Minnesota Vikings. We had a few too many beers before the show. The Minnesota Vikings are another team to keep in mind because they just lost Adam Thielen, and Kirk Cousins has shown in years past that, guess what? Watch this. Bang! Minnesota Vikings, that they need a slot receiver there for Kirk Cousins. The Green Bay Packers, I don't necessarily think that it's so much of a need as what it once was, but it's the Rich Bisaccia connection. They got Jordan Love, young quarterback. And then I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills, to me, are the dark horse sneaky team because when Josh Allen, when it's been at its best, it's when he's had Cole Beasley. Hunter Renfrow is a better version than Cole Beasley. So if I'm the Buffalo Bills and I'm trying to think, all right, how do I take down the Bengals? How do I take down the Kansas City Chiefs? How do I deal with all these other teams in the AFC right now? Could be going out and trading for a player like Hunter Renfrow. So it will be a very unpopular opinion amongst the nation, but I've seen how much players go for, and I also know that the Raiders, they want to move on from him. Like, they want to save the money. So with that being said, I think the Raiders end up taking a day 3 pick for him. I'm not saying it's going to be a 6th or a 7th rounder. I still believe in my heart of hearts it's probably going to be a 5th round pick for Renfrow, or it's going to be a player swap, and it could be a player swap for an Isaiah Simmons. It could be a player swap for Buda Baker. Maybe it could be for, his name is blanking on me right now, the safety from the Tennessee Titans, Kevin Byard, right? Like, where another NFL team is trying to move on from a certain contract to go out and fill another need. That's how I see a Renfrow trade going down. So, appreciate everyone that tuned in to today's show. And one more time here off the top, Do you want the Raiders to trade Hunter Renfrow after seeing all that information? You can digest it. You can let me know. Do I want the Raiders to trade Renfrow? No, I don't. But if they use the money and they use it for the defensive side of the football, then I will be typing my T for trade, because at the end of the day, using $11.3 million, investing that to the defense, and if you're able to get another linebacker, if you're able to get another secondary player, if you're able to get somebody on the defensive line, that money is better well spent and better allocated, thus making your overall team better.